Hi, I'm Tonya Caruso. Welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. The budget battle continues in Harrisburg, and joining us in our studios this half hour, State Representative Matt Smith. Thanks so much for coming in and talking with us today.
Great to be with you.
Tough year all around.
Very difficult year, and I think most of us realize that we need to cut state spending, and we need to eliminate waste, abuse, and fraud in every single area of state government. But the disappointing thing that I found in the Corbett budget proposal was the specific focus on the slashing of education funding, both in the K through 12 area and early childhood education, as well as higher education for our college students.
Lots of people sitting at home might say colleges are going to raise tuition anyway. So why is that in particular such a big issue?
Yeah,
here?
This particular cut, the governor's proposed an over 50% cut to the state-related universities. So that's Pitt and Penn State in our area, as well as a 50% cut to the state system schools like California, Slippery Rock, and Clarion. And what that will do is drive tuition costs even higher than they have been over the last few years. And what it also does is eliminate, particularly with Pitt and Penn State, the economic development, the research and development, the innovation that those colleges produce as economic engines, not just as educational institutions. So it hurts in both areas. Higher tuition costs, even higher than they would have been otherwise for students and families, as well as fewer economic development opportunities for those particular schools. And just to give you an example, for every dollar of the state spending that's given in investments to the University of Pittsburgh, it results in over $25 of economic development activity for Western Pennsylvania. So, Pitt's been a leader in changing our area from a heavy manufacturing and industrial area towards the meds and eds that we see in today's world. And I think what the governor's cuts will lead to is fewer economic development opportunities.
All right, so where is there room to negotiate?
I believe so, and I'm certainly willing to work with the governor to come up with a better approach, because as I said, I think we all realize that we need to cut, but my approach would have been cutting with a scalpel rather than a hatchet, and I think he focused on one particular area. So what I would like to see is a full restoration of the higher education cuts so that they go back to the funding they had last year, and we can talk about other areas. One area that I would like to see the governor have some renewed interest in is in a Marcellus shale tax. That revenue could be used to offset most, if not all, of these education cuts. The other thing I was disappointed in the governor's approach was he talked a lot about reform on the campaign trail, but he didn't mention the legislative surplus that's out there. It's $188 million that can be used. It's a one-time source, but that could be used to offset a lot of these basic ed and higher education funding cuts.
So as you're moving forward with this, is this a down party line type of thing, or are there people on the GOP side that are moving to this whole idea of education cuts are bad across the board?
I've talked to a lot of my Republican colleagues, and the reason I'm heartened is they've both publicly and privately been critical of the governor's budget cuts in the education area because I think they see the value. And what we have to do a better job of in Harrisburg is spending money and investing the public dollars in areas where that's going to provide a value for the taxpayer. And I think both sides of the aisle agree that education investments pay dividends for the taxpayers, whether it's higher education investments. I've talked to a lot of Republican colleagues of mine who believe fervently in early childhood investment. And for every dollar invested in early childhood, pre-K, 3- and 4-year-old educational opportunities, that pays dividends $18, $19, $20 for every dollar that we invest. So I think that's another area where we've got to go back to the governor and say, look, you're cutting early childhood education. You even concede that that's a great investment. Let's put some dollars back into that early childhood program. And the area where he cut that significantly is the Accountability Block Grant program that was eliminated. That's about $250 million.
So much to talk about. The debate will no doubt continue. State Representative Matt Smith, thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm Tonya Caruso. Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. We'll send you back now to HLN.